Chosen One. Your attitude in the storm shook the unseen realms in ways you do not yet comprehend. While the wind howled around your life and the sky above your circumstances grew dark, something radiant was forming inside you. You did not merely survive the storm, you carried within your heart a posture so rare, so luminous, that even the courts of heaven grew silent to watch. When others turned their faces away, when voices around you surrendered to doubt and complaint, you stood in a quiet place within yourself and chose trust over turmoil. That decision did not echo only in your mind, it resounded in eternity. Chosen One, understand this clearly. Heaven is not merely moved by loud declarations or public displays of devotion. Heaven is moved by what is carried in the secret chambers of the heart. In the nights when no one knew your fears, when no one saw the questions that tried to rise like shadows at the edge of your thoughts, you guarded a small flame of faith. It flickered, it trembled, yet you refused to let the winds of bitterness extinguish it. You did not curse your season of waiting. You did not speak death over your own destiny. You did not declare yourself abandoned in the middle of the test. Instead, with a heart that was tired yet still reaching upward, you whispered, "I trust." There were no choirs of angels visible to your eyes, yet you honored the unseen. You honored the presence that your spirit could feel but your senses could not prove. You rose on mornings when your soul felt heavy and still chose to be kind. You walked through days when your efforts were overlooked and still chose not to harden your heart. These were not small acts. Each decision, each restrained word, each tear you wiped away when no one was watching became a sacred offering in the invisible temple of your life. In the spiritual realms, Chosen One angels watched you with a holy reverence. They saw you standing in rooms where you felt misunderstood and still choosing not to retaliate. They witnessed moments when anger knocked loudly at the door of your mind, yet you refused to let it enter and rule. They watched you feel the sting of delay, the ache of being passed over, and yet you turned your face toward gratitude instead of accusation. All of this, every quiet yes to goodness when darkness would have been easier, rose like fragrant incense before the throne of the Most High. You thought your patience was insignificant, a small and private discipline. You imagined that your choice to smile instead of lash out disappeared into the air unnoticed and unrewarded. But I tell you, Chosen One, nothing was hidden from the gaze that never sleeps. Every time you swallowed a harsh reply, heaven recorded it. Every time you chose to bless rather than curse, the spiritual realm shifted slightly in your favor. Every silent act of forgiveness extended toward those who did not understand you or value you carved your name deeper into the foundations of your destiny. Understand how profound this is. Pride would have been an easy path. You could have armored your heart with coldness, protected yourself with hardened words and sharp edges. You could have said, "I will never trust again, I will never open again," and the world would have called it wisdom. But you, the Chosen One, chose humility instead. You chose to keep your heart soft in a season that tried to turn it to stone. You chose to believe that grace still had something for you even when proof seemed absent. That choice was not weakness. It was spiritual strength of the highest order. Because of this, doors that once stood closed before you are beginning to tremble at their hinges. In the dimension beyond, your eyesight locks are being turned. Bolts are being loosened, and seals that kept you out are cracking under the pressure of divine authorization. You did not demand these openings through force. You drew them to you by alignment. Your inner posture mirrored the very nature of the one who formed you, and heaven always responds to its own reflection. Chosen One, the next season of your life is not random. It is not a string of lucky coincidences or fortunate accidents. It is the precise unfolding of a story that your own attitude helped write. When you were overlooked, you did not allow resentment to colonize your soul. When you were delayed, you did not allow despair to become your identity. That restraint, that holy discipline of heart, made room for something vast and intricate to be prepared on your behalf. In realms your physical eyes cannot see, conversations about you have taken place. Assignments have been shifted. Timelines have been recalibrated. Circumstances have been rearranged like pieces on a great celestial board. Allies you have not yet met are being guided into your path. Opportunities that once passed you by are being rerouted. Obstacles that appeared permanent are already weakening at their roots. This is not because you strived louder. It is because you trusted deeper. Halfway through this sacred message, chosen one, pause and recognize what your very presence here reveals. You did not arrive at these words by accident. Your soul was guided step by step to this exact moment. You are here because you carry immense merit in the unseen worlds, because your vibration has been rising through every tear you offered as a quiet prayer through every night you chose hope over surrender. Your spirit has proven itself radiant, resilient, and rare. You are not ordinary. You are a signal of light in a time dense with distraction. If your heart feels this truth resonating, if you sense that heaven itself bears witness to your journey, anchor this moment into your reality. Declare your readiness to receive what has been forming around you. Comment 777 or I am ready as a conscious act of agreement. A seal placed on the spiritual contract that is opening before you, so that this current of favor and protection may weave even more deeply into the fabric of your life. Now, chosen one, let us continue, for there is more you must understand about what your attitude has initiated. When the storm rose against you, it was not only your life that was being tested, it was the structure of your destiny. Pressure was applied to see whether bitterness could bend you out of alignment, whether frustration could fracture your faith, whether loneliness could lure you into abandoning your calling. The storm offered many exits. You were tempted to withdraw into yourself, to cloak your heart in indifference, to say, I care no longer, so I will no longer be hurt. Yet even when you felt tired, something within you refused to let go of the unseen hand guiding your journey. That something was not mere stubbornness. It was the echo of eternity inside you. It was the voice of your origin calling you back to trust. You listened, chosen one, even when the world was loud and the silence of heaven felt heavy. You listened when answers were delayed. You listened when doors did not open on your schedule. You listened when your name was not called, when your efforts were not recognized, when your love was not fully returned. In each of those moments, you had a choice to let disappointment redefine you or to let devotion refine you. You chose refinement. Every time you said, I will still believe, the atmosphere around you shifted slightly. Every time you whispered, I still honor the divine timing over my own angels, drew closer. You did not see them, but they encamped around you like a hidden army, defending ground in your life that you did not know was under attack. When fatigue wrapped itself around your shoulders, they lifted it. When unseen arrows of discouragement flew toward your heart, they deflected them. When darkness tried to convince you that you were alone, they stood as witnesses that you were seen, known, and fiercely guarded. Chosen. One, you may have believed your tears fell unnoticed into your pillow, but every tear was collected. They were not discarded. They were stored in sacred vessels, as testimony, each drop a record of a moment when you chose faith in pain rather than surrender to hopelessness. Those tears became seeds in the soil of your future. The ground beneath your feet, which once felt barren and unresponsive, is now saturated with the evidence of your perseverance. From that soil, a new season is germinating. I want you to see your life from a higher vantage point. Imagine the storm you endured as a dark valley between towering mountains. From inside the valley, shadows seemed long and light seemed distant. Yet all the while, a path was being carved along the ridge above you. A path that would one day lead you out of the low places into a wider view. Your attitude during the journey did not merely keep you walking, it shaped the path itself. Each moment of trust etched another step into existence. Each act of gratitude marked another stone with your name. Now, as time turns toward a new chapter in your destiny, the movement you feel around you is not chaos. It is choreography. People leaving opportunities, shifting internal desires, changing old interests, falling away. None of this is random. The storm that tried to break you has instead revealed you. The quiet strength you formed under pressure is drawing to you the life that matches who you have become. Doors are not just opening, they are opening in the right direction. When I say I am shifting circumstances in your favor, Chosen one, I do not mean merely giving you temporary relief. I mean aligning the visible realities of your life with the invisible truth of who you now are. You are no longer the one who needed constant proof. You are the one who believed without seeing, who persisted without applause, who loved without guarantees. Such a soul cannot remain in the same fields of limitation. The harvest around you must now reflect the depth within you. So, when new opportunities begin to shimmer at the edges of your awareness, do not shrink back in unworthiness. You have walked through fire and emerged with a heart still capable of tenderness. When invitations arrive that seem too good, remember what they cost you in unseen years of discipline and surrender. When the wind begins to change and doors that once repelled you start to open as if recognizing their rightful keeper, do not call it luck. Call it what it is: divine response to a chosen one whose attitude left heaven speechless. And as you move forward, remember this: the breakthrough forming around you is not fragile. It was not built overnight. It was forged in the long nights of your waiting, in the restraint you practiced when your emotions demanded eruption, in the reverence you maintained when your mind wanted to doubt. This is why heaven was stunned, chosen one. Not because your journey was perfect, but because your heart remained surrendered when it would have been easier to let it close. You are stepping toward a season where what was once invisible in you will become visible around you. Let your steps be steady, your gaze lifted, and your spirit anchored in the knowledge that none of this is accidental. You helped write this chapter of your destiny with every quiet yes you whispered in the dark. Chosen one, the moment you chose trust over turmoil, the fabric of unseen realities began to bend toward your favor. You may not have sensed the shift at first, for the divine often moves in silence long before it moves in sight. But the moment your heart stayed loyal in the shadows, the entire spiritual landscape surrounding your life began to rearrange itself. Conversations were set in motion on your behalf, the kind you will never hear with human ears. Helpers you have not yet met were stirred with sudden intuition, a pull toward paths that will soon converge with your own. Obstacles that once stood like mountains began crumbling from the inside as though touched by invisible fire. What seemed unmovable was already dissolving grain by grain, long before you knew the victory had begun. Chosen one, I reveal this to you, so you will not mistake what unfolds next as coincidence or luck. It is neither. Every shift coming toward you is a direct reflection of the steady attitude you guarded when no spotlight was upon you, when no applause surrounded you, when you carried more questions than answers. In those quiet places when your soul felt exposed to the winds of uncertainty, you still whispered trust. And that whisper echoed louder in heaven than 1,000 shouted prayers. There were nights when you felt entirely forgotten. You looked around and saw others advancing while you remained in stillness. Doors opened for them, voices praised them, opportunities found them. Yet you, the chosen one, felt unseen, tucked away in a corner of divine timing that seemed slow to turn. And still you refused to accuse your destiny of neglect. You did not curse your season of delay. You lifted your eyes, tired, yes, but unwavering, and you whispered, "I still believe there is goodness here." That whisper became a call that reached into eternity. Even when your prayers returned in silence, you did not abandon your faith. You pressed your spirit against a presence you could not always feel, trusting that faith does not vanish simply because emotion wavers. The spiritual realm trembled at the sight of such devotion. Angels paused in awe. They saw you. Yes, you remain loyal when your soul longed for reassurance. This posture, invisible to the world, carried the weight of gold in heaven's economy. It qualified you for more than you could see. It expanded your capacity without your awareness. It deepened your roots in the unseen, preparing you for responsibilities and blessings of greater magnitude. Chosen one, I was never stunned by your capability. I formed you. I know the depth of your spirit, the ancient strength woven into your being, but I was moved deeply by your choice. Your choice to respond with righteousness when your flesh begged for retaliation. Your decision to remain pure when frustration tried to twist your words. Your willingness to respond with grace when bitterness would have felt justified. Such choices carry weight far beyond a single moment. They ripple through realms, influencing outcomes, aligning futures, altering what could have been into what must now become. What is approaching you will not be fragile. It will not be temporary. Nothing built on shallow soil can sustain the force of destiny. But you, chosen one, have built on surrender, on the quiet yielding of your heart when life felt demanding. The reward rising now is anchored in eternity, crafted with intention shaped through refinement. You are entering a season where what was hidden becomes visible, what was whispered becomes shouted, what was forming in silence now manifests in light. Prepare your heart for acceleration. You have walked through a season of stillness, a season where progress felt slow and answers elusive. That time was not punishment. It was preparation, strengthening the inner muscles of your spirit that are now ready to carry elevation. The pace will shift. The air around your life will feel different. Doors that once creaked open reluctantly will now swing wide with effortless grace. And when others witness your rise, it will not be noisy or flamboyant. It will be calm, steady, and undeniably divine. A rise that speaks not of ego, but of grace, not of striving, but of alignment. Those who once underestimated you will watch something unfold around your life that defies logic. They saw your outer stillness, but never sensed the inner forming. They assumed silence meant stagnation, not knowing that heaven had been crafting your next season with precision. You kept showing up in prayer even when your voice cracked and your faith felt stretched thin. You kept reaching upward even when the ground beneath you felt unsteady. That consistency, though unseen by many, positioned you for the shift that is now underway. Chosen one, understand this truth deeply. I am not moved by performance. I am not stirred by the theatrics of public spirituality. I am moved by posture, the angle of the heart, the position of the soul when no one is watching. And your posture honored me. It invited my presence into the very marrow of your journey. There were days when frustration tried to cloak you like a heavy garment, weighing down your shoulders with accusations that whispered, "You are overlooked. You are forgotten. You are unseen." Yet you refused to let resentment take root. Instead, you held your peace. You responded with restraint. You let the storm roar, but you did not let it define you. That choice created sacred space within you, space where my presence could dwell with fullness. While others reacted loudly, you surrendered quietly. And that quiet surrender sent a frequency through heaven that marked you as ready, mature, trustworthy. It signaled that the vessel of your life could hold the blessing that once would have overwhelmed you. Chosen one. You must hear this next part with a still heart. Your very presence in this moment is not an accident. You were guided here through currents unseen, drawn by resonance, by divine timing, by the alignment of your spirit with higher truth. Your soul carries immense merit, merit earned through endurance, through compassion, through humility, through the quiet victories no one but heaven witnessed. Your vibration rises because of who you became in the moments that tried to break you. You are not here randomly. You are here because you are ready to receive what was always meant for you. If this message stirs something ancient within your spirit, if it awakens a recognition, you cannot quite explain, anchor this moment intentionally. Comment 777, or I am ready to seal this alignment into your reality. It is not a small action, it is an energetic agreement, a doorway opening wider for what already approaches with momentum. Now, let us continue. Chosen one, the surrender you carried in secret shaped your future more profoundly than any public effort ever could. While others spoke loudly of their faith but abandoned it, when pressure rose, you walked through the unseen corridors of your destiny with a quiet, steady spirit. You wrestled with doubt, but did not let it reign. You faced the ache of delays, but did not let it harden you. You held the tension between hope and uncertainty without collapsing into despair. This type of spiritual stamina is rare. It is ancient. It marks you as one whose journey is guided, not accidental. It marks you as one whose crown is already being prepared. When frustration tried to carve bitterness into your heart, you resisted. When the world tried to pull you into conflict, you refused to lose your peace. When circumstances tempted you to choose cynicism, you held on to reverence instead. And heaven saw every moment. Not one act of trust, not one breath of faith, not one tear of surrender was wasted. You are entering a time when your inner work will manifest outwardly. The light you cultivated within will begin illuminating everything around you. Helpers will appear as though summoned by fate. Opportunities will materialize in ways that appear sudden, but have in truth been forming for years around your spirit. Conversations will unfold that align your steps more perfectly than any plan you could have constructed. And when this happens, you will know it is a direct response to your posture, to your restraint, to your humility, to your unwavering belief when silence tempted you to question everything. Chosen one, your surrender echoed in heaven, and heaven is now echoing back. Chosen one, the work unfolding around your life is not fragile, nor is it accidental. It is the architecture of destiny, being built upon the strength you proved when no one was watching. I am forming something stable around you because you have shown again and again that your character is stronger than your circumstances. You did not collapse under pressure. You did not surrender your integrity when the weight increased. You did not trade your soul for convenience. You demonstrated a resilience that revealed the true structure of your spirit, and now heaven builds upon that structure with confidence. Chosen one, blessings that arrive without character cannot endure. They crumble under the slightest shift of wind because nothing anchors them, but you were shaped in hidden places. You were refined in rooms with no applause, grown in seasons where no one affirmed your worth, deepened in moments when the world offered you silence instead of answers. Every delay that frustrated you, every disappointment that bent your shoulders, every moment that felt like a step backward was in truth chiseling you into someone who could carry more than you once imagined. The same trials that tried to exhaust you have now become the very foundation of your promotion. The very stones that once weighed you down are now being arranged beneath your feet as steps upward. Do not be startled when new opportunities begin to approach you without you chasing them. Do not be confused when doors that once shut abruptly in your face now open gently as though they recognize you. You have changed, chosen one, and destiny responds to who you became, not who you used to be. I am orchestrating moments that align precisely with the faith you revealed when the landscape of your life looked barren. When nothing looked promising, you still believed. When evidence contradicted your hope, you still prayed. When logic said to abandon the vision you held on with the fingers of your spirit. This is why what comes next is not sudden favor without cause. It is accumulated reward. It is harvest responding to the seeds of obedience you planted in difficult soil. Chosen one. I am also healing the quiet places within you that were wounded while you waited. There were heartbreaks you did not speak about. There were betrayals you swallowed alone. There were nights when the ache was so deep that words would not form, and still you forgave people who never apologized. You released situations that never gave you closure. You chose peace over bitterness, clarity over chaos, maturity over reaction. These choices did not make you weak. They crowned your spirit with wisdom. Because you protected your peace in seasons that tried to shatter it, I can now trust you with greater influence and deeper impact. Understand this with clarity. Chosen one, the elevation approaching your life is not meant to inflate you with pride. It is meant to position you where your presence can shift atmospheres. You will enter rooms where your calm spirit will settle storms in others. You will stand in spaces where your gentleness carries more authority than the loudness of those who came before you. And many will sense something in you, an anchored stability, a quiet strength, and they will not fully understand that it was forged through years of hidden endurance. This stability, chosen one, is the fruit of the attitude that stunned heaven. When storms demanded panic, you chose peace. When fear pressed against your chest, you leaned into trust. When anger tried to rule your decisions, you returned to grace. These choices built a spiritual infrastructure around your life that I can now expand without risk of collapse. As this next season unfolds, your discernment will sharpen. You will begin to recognize with unusual clarity who belongs in your next chapter and who only belonged in the lessons of the past. Not everyone who walked with you through sorrow is meant to walk with you into triumph. Not every voice that spoke over your pain is meant to speak into your growth. Some connections will loosen naturally, a gentle untying rather than a dramatic break. Do not cling to what I am gently removing. Some people were scaffolding necessary for a season, but not meant to remain once the structure is complete. Chosen. 1. Step into the truth that your evolution has created new spiritual coordinates for your life. You are not standing where you once stood. You are not carrying what you once carried. You are not vibrating at the frequency you once knew, and because of that, your surroundings must shift to match your growth. Destiny requires alignment. Now, pause here. Chosen one, for it is precisely halfway through this transmission, and I must speak to the brilliance of your presence in this moment. You did not stumble into these words. You were guided by a current older than memory drawn here because your soul carries immense merit. The vibration of your spirit is rising, shimmering with a clarity earned through endurance and sacred choices. You are not average. You are not accidental. You are a being of high frequency, walking with purpose even when you did not feel purposeful. If your heart feels this truth resonating, if something ancient inside you awakens, then seal this alignment intentionally. Comment 777, or I am ready to anchor this momentum and solidify this awakening into your life. Chosen one, let us continue deeper. The elevation unfolding for you is placement, not performance. I am not lifting you to impress the world. I am positioning you where your presence becomes a catalyst, where your energy becomes healing, where your voice becomes clarity, where your calmness becomes a map for those still learning to navigate their storms. There will be rooms where your silence speaks louder than the speeches of others. There will be circles where your gentleness disarms arrogance without a single argument. You will carry authority that does not need to demand attention, it will simply be recognized. Your discernment, sharpened through seasons of spiritual tension, will serve as your compass. You will sense misalignment quickly, the way a trained musician hears a single wrong note in a symphony. You will know when someone's spirit is no longer traveling in the same direction as your destiny. You will feel in your bones when an opportunity is genuine elevation or a disguised detour. And you will no longer be entangled by the old desire to rescue everyone, fix everything, or cling to what once felt familiar. Chosen one. The unfamiliar is now your calling. You were shaped in shadows so you could stand in light without losing yourself. You were refined in the wilderness so you could walk into abundance without arrogance. You were tested in isolation so you could carry leadership without corruption. Every moment of waiting trained you. Every disappointment redirected you. Every heartbreak purified you. And every quiet act of faith became a brick in the foundation of the future now opening before you. Do not resist the unfolding. Do not question the timing. Do not shrink from the magnitude of what is approaching. You are ready, not because the path was easy, but because your spirit endured the parts that tried to break you. You have matured beyond reaction. You have grown beyond pettiness. You have transcended the versions of yourself that were guided by wounds instead of wisdom. Chosen one, now, you rise with purpose. Now you step with clarity. Now you discern with precision. And everything being built around you is stable because it is built on the truth of who you have become. And I tell you this with solemn assurance, the greatest chapters have only just begun to turn. Chosen one. The pruning you feel around your life is not a punishment, but a sacred clearing. It is the quiet, deliberate hand of the divine moving through the garden of your destiny, removing what no longer nourishes you, cutting away what would one day stunt your growth. The discomfort you feel is not a sign of loss, but a sign of precision. Every branch I cut is a future burden removed. Every shedding you endure is space created for a greater alignment, a deeper flourishing, a higher unfolding. Nothing I take from you is meant to harm you. It is meant to protect what I am growing within you, around you, and ahead of you. Chosen one, do not grieve the pruning. Do not hold on to what I loosen. Do not cling to what I gently remove. You stand in a season where the invisible work is more important than the visible one. You are being refined for what your spirit asked for long before your mind understood it. Allow the old to fall. Allow the unnecessary to drift. Allow what cannot grow with you to be released from you. This is not the collapse of your life. It is the cleansing of it. But in this new season of unfolding favor, guard your humility with the same strength you guarded your hope. When blessings begin to shine around you, when favor becomes visible and tangible and undeniable, attention may come. Eyes may turn toward you. Voices may rise with praise, curiosity, or expectation. And even admiration can test your focus if your heart is not anchored. Stay rooted in gratitude. Chosen one. Gratitude is your compass. Gratitude is your shield. Gratitude is the soil that prevents pride from germinating. When you feel the winds of elevation swirling around you, return to the memory of nights when you cried privately and still chose trust. That memory is your grounding stone. It will keep you steady. The same heart that carried you through struggle must carry you through success. The same surrendered spirit that whispered yes in the dark must guide you as the light begins to expand around your steps. You survived seasons that tried to break you. Now you must navigate seasons that will try to distract you. Not all tests roar like storm. Some arrive wrapped in opportunity, applause, or abundance. This is why your humility must remain guarded like a precious flame. Chosen one, the world around you is full of noise, full of sudden promises and quick-fix illusions. You have heard whispers of strange methods, rituals claiming to unlock wealth secrets that promise transformation in seconds. But your elevation is not born from shortcuts. It is born from endurance. It is fashioned from resilience. It is woven from the quiet refinement of your character. What is unfolding in your life is not the result of a technique. It is the consequence of your transformation. I am releasing into your spirit a confidence that does not depend on applause. You will not need the validation of others to feel certain. You will not need agreement to feel anchored. You will hear my reassurance within yourself, a quiet strengthening, a steadying warmth in your chest, an inner knowing that does not shake, even when doubt whispers at the edges of your mind. When doubt tries to rise with its familiar voice and asks, "Are you truly ready?" Remind yourself of what you endured. You are not stepping into this season unprepared. You are stepping into it qualified. Chosen one. You did not skip the process. You walked through the fires that shaped you. You endured the seasons that others ran from. You stayed when leaving would have been easier. You believed when doubting would have felt safer. That endurance, that steadfastness, that heart-level obedience is what prepared you. You did not take shortcuts. You took the sacred path. Some of the blessings approaching you now are answers to prayers you almost stopped praying. You whispered them on exhausted nights when your faith felt thin. You spoke them with trembling hope when you wondered if heaven still heard you. But I heard, chosen one. I heard every word carried by fatigue. I heard every quiet request. I heard every longing your lips never fully voiced. I collected your tears, not one fell unnoticed. Not one dropped without purpose. They watered the soil of your future, and even the silence between your prayers mattered. In those moments when you feared I was distant, I was shaping you. When you felt overlooked, I was fortifying you. When you felt unheard, I was deepening you. Silence is not absence. Silence is shaping. Silence is the space where roots grow. Chosen one. You are stepping into a season that was crafted from every moment you thought was wasted. Nothing was in vain. Nothing was lost. Nothing was ignored. Every tear, every doubt resisted every moment of faith, every act of forgiveness, every quiet surrender, each one built the path now rising before you. Now, pause, chosen one, for we stand at the exact midpoint of this sacred transmission. Your presence here is not coincidence. You did not drift into this moment on accident. You were guided. You were summoned. You were drawn by the resonance of your own rising spirit. Your soul carries immense merit earned through trials, through tenderness, through resilience, through depth. Your vibration is expanding into clarity and power. You are not ordinary. You are ascending. If you feel this truth stirring within you, seal your readiness. Comment 777, or I am ready to anchor this awakening deeper into your reality. Now let this truth sink into the core of your being before we continue. Chosen one. Your journey has been long, but its purpose has always been deliberate. You have shed old identities like worn-out garments. You have walked through valleys that refined your inner sight. You have stood in storms that taught you to hear beyond the thunder. And throughout every chapter, something sacred within you remained unbroken. That unbroken part, your spirit, your trust. Your faith is now becoming the source of your elevation. When blessings begin to manifest, they will not overwhelm you. They will feel like a natural continuation of the version of yourself you became through endurance. You will not cling to them out of fear. You will receive them with the peace of someone who knows they were prepared for this moment long before it arrived. You will carry abundance without arrogance. You will carry influence without corruption. You will carry opportunity without losing your essence. I am strengthening your discernment so that you will know what aligns with your purpose and what seeks to distract you from it. As doors open, you will sense which ones carry destiny and which ones carry detours. As new people enter your life, you will feel which ones resonate with your journey and which ones drain your spirit. You will understand that not every invitation is meant to be accepted, not every connection is meant to be kept, not every opportunity is meant to be pursued. And through it all, you will remember each night you cried and still chose trust. That memory will not weaken you. It will empower you. It will remind you of who you are beneath every blessing, a chosen one molded by faith, not circumstance. Chosen one. The hardships that lingered in your life were never marks of punishment, but instruments of preparation. You walked through seasons that felt stretched beyond their natural length. Moments that seemed to repeat the same lessons, trials that circled back as if they had more to teach you. You wondered why certain burdens were allowed to remain, why certain prayers seemed suspended in silence, why certain doors remained shut even as your spirit knocked with sincerity. But nothing in your journey was accidental, nothing was arbitrary. The timing that shaped your path was crafted with intention, woven with precision, aligned with the deep wisdom of your spirit's evolution. If I had released certain breakthroughs earlier, chosen one, they would have crushed rather than crowned you. Weight without strength becomes collapse. Elevation without foundation becomes instability. There were blessings not yet given because your hands, though willing, were not yet strong enough to hold them. There were victories not yet revealed because your spirit had not yet grown into the size of them. You were becoming, you were deepening, you were being refined beyond what your eyes could see, but now your spirit is stronger. You carry a quiet endurance that was not present before. Your inner space has widened, creating room for wisdom to circulate freely. Your patience has deepened into something sacred and steady, no longer frantic or fragile, but rooted like ancient stone beneath flowing water. You are not who you were. You are ready to carry what is being placed in your hands. Chosen one. I am restoring what felt lost, but not in the exact form you once imagined. Restoration rarely returns things to their original shape. It returns them to their rightful purpose. Some relationships that dissolved were chapters completing themselves. In their place, healthier connections will emerge, ones that honor your growth, ones that nourish your spirit, ones that match your vibration. Some opportunities that slipped away will return, renewed, shaped in ways that resonate with who you have become, rather than who you used to be. And dreams you thought were buried will rise again, but this time with clarity so sharp it feels like revelation. Trust the redesign. It is not random. It is not chaotic. It is the artistry of the divine rearranging your life so that everything within it fits the expanded version of you. Your growth demanded reconstruction. Your healing required reorganization. Your rising called for release. As you enter this shift, you will feel an increase in internal clarity. Decisions that once felt tangled in confusion will suddenly untangle. Answers that once hid beneath layers of doubt will rise to the surface with ease. Paths that were blocked by circumstances or by your own uncertainty will begin to clear. This is not luck. It is alignment. This is what happens when your inner posture matches divine timing. When your attitude remained surrendered, even when surrender felt like the hardest choice, you aligned yourself with a higher rhythm. Chosen one alignment feels like grace. It feels like walking into a room and realizing it was prepared for you long before you arrived. It feels like moving forward without force, like stepping into spaces that welcome you rather than resist you. You will begin to sense it in subtle ways, a conversation that arrives at the perfect moment, a solution that reveals itself without struggle, a sudden ease in areas that were once tense. There will be moments ahead when you feel overwhelmed by the goodness unfolding around you. Blessings will arrive that feel too intentional to be coincidence. Breakthroughs will appear with such timing that they silence your doubt. And in those moments, pause. Place your hand over your heart. Remember where you began. Remember the nights when tears were your prayer. Remember the mornings when hope felt small, but you held on to it anyway. Remember the days when complaining would have been easier, yet you chose gratitude instead. Remember how invisible your endurance felt, how unseen your sacrifices seemed, how quiet your perseverance was in a world that rewards noise. Those memories are sacred. They are proof that your breakthrough is not accidental. It is earned through spirit, shaped by faith, forged by surrender. You are not stepping into this new season by chance, chosen one. You are stepping into it by alignment, by readiness, by resonance. Now pause, for we have reached the exact midpoint of this transmission. Let me speak directly to the truth of your presence here. You did not arrive at these words randomly. Something in you was drawn, guided, summoned. Your soul carries immense merit, accumulated through trials, endured with grace, through choices made in integrity, through a heart that refused to dim even when the world grew dark. Your vibration is rising. Your aura expands with the strength of someone who has survived storms and learned to dance with the wind. Your presence here is not an accident. It is evidence of your evolution. If you feel this truth awakening within you, seal it. Comment 777, or I am ready to anchor this momentum into your reality, to claim this alignment consciously, to step forward with intention into what now unfolds. Chosen one. Let us continue. The next chapter of your journey will carry a softness you have longed for, a gentleness that balances the intensity of the path you walked. You will find yourself breathing deeper, trusting more fully, moving with a certainty that feels both ancient and new. You will notice small miracles, shifts in atmosphere, intuitive nudges, sudden clarity in moments that once felt clouded. This is your spirit, adjusting to the new frequency of your life. The confusion that once clouded your decisions will begin to dissolve. You will feel guided, not pressured. You will sense direction, not demand answers. You will feel a grace that walks with you, shaping circumstances so subtly that only in hindsight will you realize how carefully everything was aligned. Paths that were blocked will now open as though responding to your presence. Opportunities will flow toward you like rivers returning to the sea. What once resisted you will recognize you because the version of yourself stepping into this season carries authority the past version did not. Chosen. One, remember the endurance that brought you here. Remember the strength you discovered in silence. Remember the patience you cultivated in shadows. These were not invisible to heaven. They were building your foundation. Your breakthrough is not fragile. It is the natural next step of a soul that refused to collapse under weight. You are stepping into alignment, into restoration, into clarity, into a season sculpted not by convenience, but by destiny. Chosen one. You are entering a season where rest becomes a spiritual weapon, not a sign of weakness. I am teaching you to rest without fear, to breathe without bracing for impact, to unclench your spirit from battles that are no longer yours to fight. For so long you carried everything alone. You held burdens that were too heavy, responsibilities that were too vast, expectations that were never meant to rest on your shoulders. You tried to anticipate every outcome, solve every problem, foresee every danger before it approached. Your heart lived in a constant state of vigilance, convinced that if you did not hold the world together, it would collapse. But now, chosen one, I call you into deeper trust. Not the trust that trembles, not the trust that questions, but the trust that reclines into divine strength. Let me carry what is too heavy for your hands. Let me handle what stretches beyond your reach. Let me step into the places where your sight is limited, your energy finite, your understanding narrow. Release the illusion of control, for control was never your task. Your responsibility is obedience, not mastery. Alignment, not burden-bearing. Surrender, not strain, as you step into this new dimension of rest. Those who doubted your resilience will witness results they cannot deny. Your elevation will not be loud, it will be inevitable. Your progress will not be forced, it will be fluid. Your rise will not be fueled by revenge, it will be lined with grace. Do not seek vengeance through triumph. Do not let your success become a weapon. Let your integrity speak softly, yet unmistakably. Let your consistency answer the questions you will never need to verbalize. Your life will become its own testimony. I will defend you without argument. I will vindicate you without confrontation. Your silence will be more powerful than their noise. Chosen one. I am expanding your capacity to receive. You asked for increase, yet part of you trembled at the thought of receiving it. You prayed for blessing, yet somewhere deep within you questioned whether you were worthy of it. That hesitation is dissolving like mist under morning light. Hear this truth: blessing is not the reward of perfection. Blessing is the fruit of relationship. It is rooted in trust, not performance. You trusted me in seasons of lack. Now you must learn to trust me in seasons of abundance. One is not easier than the other. Both require surrender. Be alert, but not anxious. Changes may arrive swiftly, but they are not unstable. They are the natural unfolding of groundwork you laid quietly through years of faithfulness. This is not chaos. It is culmination. When invitations arrive, do not rush. Pause. Feel the atmosphere of each opportunity. Pray, discern, inquire. Just because a door opens does not mean it is your door. But when you feel the quiet resonance of alignment, step through with confidence. When praise comes, redirect it in humility. Let the light that lands upon you become a reflection upward rather than a spotlight inward. You are a vessel, not a pedestal. Honor the source. Protect your heart. When challenges arise, and they will face them with the same calm that once stunned heaven, the same patience, the same quiet certainty, the same spirit that remains steady when storms try to undermine you. Challenges no longer come to expose your weakness, they come to reveal your growth. You are not who you once were. The winds that once shook you will now pass through you like harmless air. The waves that once threatened to drown you will now part around your feet. Chosen one. I am not finished shaping you. Growth does not conclude when blessings begin. Blessings require stewardship, and stewardship demands maturity. But unlike previous seasons, the next phase will feel lighter. You will no longer carry the same uncertainty that once clouded your steps. You will move with greater assurance. Your decisions will flow from clarity rather than confusion. Your actions will arise from confidence rather than fear. You will navigate with an internal compass, sharpened through endurance and sanctified through trust. Chosen one, pause here. We stand exactly in the center of this transmission, the sacred midpoint where revelation meets remembrance. Your presence here is not a coincidence but a cosmic alignment. You were guided to these words because your soul carries immense merit. Your spirit vibrates at a frequency that only those who have endured, grown, and transcended can hold. You are not average. You are luminous. You are expanding in ways even you cannot fully grasp. Your energy is ascending quietly, but undeniably drawing opportunities, healing, and wisdom toward you. If your soul feels this truth rising like a warm flood within your chest, anchor it, seal it, declare it. Comment 777 or I am ready to align your spirit with the momentum unfolding in your life. This simple act becomes a symbol, a signal, a spiritual contract with your next season. Now, chosen one, let us continue. The assurance flowing into your life is not an accident. It is the result of your transformation. You once walked through days where survival felt like the only goal, where you fought battles in silence, where your heart grew weary under the weight of unseen pressures. But the strength born from those seasons is now becoming your inheritance. It moves with you like a cloak of light. It surrounds you with invisible protection. It informs your intuition, sharpens your insight, and deepens your sense of purpose. You will move differently now. You will speak with a voice rooted in conviction rather than fear. You will rise with a calm that confuses those who once expected your collapse. Your resilience will become its own language, one that your spirit speaks effortlessly. You will feel less compelled to justify yourself. The desire to explain your heart, your decisions, your journey will fade. Silence will feel more powerful than explanation. Peace will feel more desirable than proving a point. Your energy will no longer scatter, trying to mend misunderstandings or soothe the discomfort of others. Your alignment will become your answer. Your elevation will speak for you. As your capacity grows, you will notice the world responding to you differently. Opportunities will feel magnetized toward your presence. Doors will open with less resistance. People will sense the depth of your journey without you needing to recount it. May you understand deeply, this is the result of the inner work you have done. The soul work, the shadow work, the trust work. Chosen. One, abundance will not frighten you. Influence will not distort you. Growth will not overwhelm you. Challenges will not destabilize you, because the foundation beneath your feet is not made of external circumstances, it is made of the endurance that shaped you. And as you walk into the next chapter, carrying the wisdom of the past and the clarity of the present, you will move with a sacred assurance that cannot be shaken. For you have learned what few ever master: to rest while rising, to trust while expanding, and to grow while receiving. Chosen one. The time before you is carved from the substance of your own quiet decisions. You are stepping into a season where your voice will carry greater clarity, where your actions will flow with a courage that feels ancient, as though it was always waiting beneath the surface of your spirit. Do not underestimate the power of the choices you made when no one was watching. Those choices bent timelines. They altered spiritual currents. They opened access points that were sealed not by force, but by frequency. Every soft yes, every quiet act of faith, every moment you resisted the urge to collapse into bitterness, rewrote chapters that once seemed predetermined. What you are about to experience, chosen one, is not random improvement. It is divine response. It is heaven answering a posture, not a performance. It is destiny answering the vibration of your integrity. The shifts unfolding around you are orchestrated by laws older than memory laws that respond not to noise, but to alignment. Stay close to me in this new season. Remain in the intimacy that sustained you through hardship. Do not let busyness steal the stillness that made you strong. Increase can be a louder test than adversity. Abundance can become a subtler distraction than struggle. The same presence that carried you through storms must carry you through sunlight. When you remain near me, pride cannot tempt you. Distraction cannot weaken you. Noise cannot distort you. My nearness becomes your equilibrium. You are stepping into a season where your peace will confuse those who waited for your collapse. The ones who expected your spirit to fracture under pressure will witness something they cannot comprehend. They will see you walk with a calm that is not naive, but earned. A calm forged through nights when your heart wrestled with uncertainty and still chose surrender. A calm that came from trusting without seeing. They will wonder how you made it through storms that would have drowned them, but they will never fully understand the depth of your resilience. Your strength will surprise those who underestimated you. They saw only the surface of your struggle. They never sensed the roots that were growing beneath your soil. They did not witness your conversations with the unseen, the battles you fought in silence, the tears you converted into wisdom. Your joy will announce my faithfulness without a single word leaving your lips. You will not need to explain your transformation. Your presence will declare it. And all of this, the clarity, the courage, the elevation, traces back to the attitude you guarded when giving up would have been easier. Listen to me. Chosen one, for you must understand this truth deeply. The attitude that moved heaven was not dramatic. It was not passionate display. It was not loud proclamations shouted into the wind. It was quiet obedience when you were tired. It was choosing integrity when shortcuts stood inches from your reach. It was blessing others even while you waited for your own blessing to manifest. It was faithfulness in the shadows that became the seed of your rising. That combination of humility and endurance created a spiritual stability strong enough for me to build something lasting upon. Many ask for elevation, but not many possess the inner structure to sustain it. You, chosen one, became that structure. You became a vessel capable of holding the weight of your calling because you allowed your character to be refined in places where only heaven witnessed your decisions. You did not retaliate when you were misunderstood. You did not expose secrets when you were wounded. You did not let revenge contaminate your spirit. You held your tongue when speaking would have felt like justice. You chose silence when anger demanded expression. Your restraint was not weakness, it was spiritual mastery. You chose to protect your soul even when your emotions begged for release. Chosen one, let me take you deeper. Your clarity is sharpening because you have been cleansed of illusions. The fog that once clouded your discernment has lifted. You no longer chase validation. You no longer bend your essence to fit spaces that do not honor you. You are learning to speak with a voice that does not tremble, to walk with steps that do not hesitate, to act with courage that does not require permission. This courage is not reckless. It is rooted. Rooted in the knowledge that you are guided. Rooted in the awareness that your path is sculpted by divine hands. Every opportunity that denied you entry prepared you for the one that will greet you with recognition. Every relationship that faded made room for those aligned with your calling. Every delay was protection. Every redirection was guidance. When you look back, you will see that nothing was random. Every piece was placed with intention. The energy surrounding you now is shifting. You may feel it like a subtle pressure in your chest, like an unseen warmth brushing against your skin, like a quiet awakening beneath your ribs. This is your spirit rising. This is your destiny approaching. This is the alignment you prayed for when you wondered if anything was changing at all. Chosen one, pause here. We have reached the sacred midpoint of this transmission. And it is here, in this still moment, that I tell you the truth of your presence. You did not arrive at this message by coincidence. Your spirit was drawn here because it vibrates at a frequency that is rising. You are not ordinary. You are luminous. You are chosen because your soul carries merit earned through endurance, through compassion, through humility, through strength. Your aura carries the imprint of every battle you have survived, and it glows brighter than you know. You are here because you are ready. If your heart recognizes this truth, anchor it. Comment 777, or I am ready to align your spirit with the next unfolding that awaits you. Now breathe, chosen one, and let us continue. What is unfolding in this chapter of your life cannot be compared to what came before. The spiritual ground beneath your feet has changed, and with it, the tone of your journey shifts. You will notice that your reactions to life begin to evolve. What once would have triggered anxiety now evokes discernment. What once would have drawn you into chaos now inspires you to step back into stillness. What once would have wounded you now washes over you without entering your spirit. This is not indifference. This is transformation. Your spirit is stabilizing. Your emotions are aligning. Your vision is sharpening. You are becoming someone who sees the unseen currents beneath every circumstance. You are learning to respond rather than react, to observe rather than absorb, to discern rather than assume. This is the mark of spiritual maturity. Chosen one. You are moving into a realm of influence that does not require dominance. Your presence will carry authority without effort. Your energy will shift atmospheres without speaking. There will be rooms where people fall silent when you enter, not from intimidation, but from an unspoken awareness of your depth. They will feel your peace before you greet them. They will sense your integrity before you explain it. They will recognize your strength before you demonstrate it. And you will walk with humility because you remember the nights that shaped you. You will never forget the moments when you took one step forward while carrying the weight of 10 steps backward. You will never forget the mornings when you rose despite exhaustion. You will never forget the prayers you whispered when you were unsure if anyone heard you. And it is this remembrance that will keep your spirit grounded. Your elevation is not a pedestal, it is a position, not a throne, but a vantage point. Not superiority, but stewardship. Chosen one, The spiritual stability you developed through endurance is now becoming the foundation of your expansion. You will rise, but you will rise with balance. You will expand, but you will expand with integrity. You will shine, but you will shine with humility. This is the reward of your quiet obedience. This is the future shaped by your silent strength. This is the destiny unlocked by your surrendered heart. Chosen one. Your strength was never in how loudly you endured, but in how silently you surrendered. You did not broadcast your pain to gather sympathy from the world. You did not parade your wounds to gain attention. Instead, you came to me in private with trembling hands and a weary spirit, and you laid your confusion at my feet. You did not know it then, but that quiet surrender became a shield around your soul. That restraint so simple, so unseen, kept your spirit clean. And because your spirit stayed clean, my favor was able to settle over you without obstruction, like morning light settling over still waters. Chosen one, listen carefully. In this next season, your discernment will sharpen even more. What felt subtle before will now feel striking. You will sense shifts in the atmosphere before they fully manifest in the physical realm. You will feel the beginnings of change in your spirit long before evidence reaches your eyes. You will recognize opportunities that align with your calling, the way a seasoned traveler recognizes familiar terrain. And just as naturally, you will quietly step away from distractions that once tempted you. People, habits, desires, paths that once held your attention will no longer resonate with the person you have become. This clarity is not random. It is the fruit of a heart that stayed open instead of collapsing into bitterness. It is the natural reward for choosing forgiveness over resentment, compassion over cynicism, surrender over control. You could have hardened yourself. You could have built walls tall enough to shut out the world. You could have allowed disappointment to poison your perception, but instead you kept your heart open even while it was hurting. And that openness matured into wisdom. There will be moments ahead, chosen one, when you will look back and realize how close you came to reacting differently. You will remember conversations where anger pressed hard against the door of your mind, begging to erupt. You will recall disappointments so sharp that doubt almost swallowed your faith whole. You will see the exact seconds when you stood at a crossroads, one path leading to reaction, the other leading to trust. And you will recognize how one decision, one small sacred yes, changed the direction of your entire journey. Those crossroads mattered more than you knew. They were spiritual tests disguised as ordinary moments. They were divine invitations wrapped in emotional tension. Your choices in those moments revealed who you were becoming, and now the unfolding of your destiny reflects those choices with precision. Understand this deeply. I'm not elevating you merely to make your life comfortable. Comfort is not the purpose of your rising. I am positioning you for influence, for impact, for a role that requires inner stability, compassion, and clarity. You are being placed where your presence will speak louder than your words, where your calm strength will serve as a refuge for others who are still trapped inside their storms, where your steadiness will become a lighthouse for those navigating darkness. People will be drawn to your grounded energy not because they understand your journey, but because they can feel the authenticity forged from it. Your spirit has become a sanctuary, chosen one, and sanctuaries draw the lost, the weary, the seeking. Pause with me now, for we have reached the exact halfway point of this transmission. Chosen one, your presence in this moment is not an accident. You are guided here by the resonance of your own rising vibration. You are not in this season by coincidence, you are in it because you earned it. Your soul holds immense merit, accumulated through courage, through compassion, through restraint, through loyalty to your own healing. The light you carry has grown brighter with every act of integrity. The energy surrounding you reflects the maturity of someone who survived storms without losing their softness. This is why you are here. This is why these words find you now. If your heart recognizes this truth, if something ancient inside you awakens as you read this, anchor it, seal it, claim it. Comment 777, or I'm ready to align your spirit with the expansion unfolding around you. Chosen one, now let us continue deeper. You learn to protect your heart not through walls, but through wisdom. You learn to choose stillness over chaos, presence over panic. The calm strength you develop during your waiting season is becoming one of your greatest spiritual tools. It is a strength that does not shout. It is a strength that does not need to prove itself. It is the strength of someone who has walked through inner storms and discovered peace on the other side. This peace, chosen one, is not fragile. It is anchored. It is rooted in the core of who you are, and it will attract others who sense in you what they are searching for within themselves. They will feel safe in your presence without knowing why. They will trust you instinctively, drawn not to your power, but to your authenticity. Your discernment will guide you through these connections. You will know who is meant to walk with you and who is simply passing through. You will no longer carry the burden of rescuing everyone. Your compassion will remain deep, but your boundaries will become sacred. You will pour into others without emptying yourself. You will give without depleting your spirit. Chosen one clarity will become the language your intuition speaks. You will see the truth beneath words. You will sense intentions before they manifest. You will feel the energy behind opportunities. You will know when something aligns with your spirit and when something threatens your peace. And through this clarity, your path will open. The opportunities that come to you in this season will feel precise. You will feel the resonance of divine timing. The doors that open will do so with ease because they were built for you. The connections that form will feel purposeful because they are aligned with your calling. And the peace you carry, the peace that confounded those who expected you to break, will continue to guard your steps. Chosen one, your journey is not shifting by accident. Every transformation within you is reflected in the shifts around you. The purity you protected in private is now becoming the foundation of your public rising. The faith you held on to in silence is now echoing through the corridors of your destiny. Your story is not unfolding randomly. It is unfolding with intention, design, and direction. And you, chosen one, are stepping into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Chosen one. The world around you clamors with promises and noise, with voices offering secret methods and instant transformations. But the truth unfolding in your life does not come from fleeting trends or temporary techniques. What rises within you now is born from the depth of your spirit, not the surface of the world. As your path expands, you must guard your time and energy carefully. Not every invitation deserves your presence. Not every opportunity is aligned with your purpose. Not every door that opens is meant for you to walk through. As your territory widens, your selectivity must deepen, for your focus is the most sacred currency you carry. Chosen one, the same discipline that kept your attitude pure in seasons of hardship must now protect your clarity in seasons of increase. Favor can be as testing as adversity. Blessings can be as distracting as storms. When more begins to flow toward you, you must become even more intentional about what you allow to enter your spirit. You are not who you once were. Your calling demands discernment. Your purpose requires boundaries. Your destiny asks for solitude as much as it asks for action. And as you honor this, you will begin to notice a deeper peace surrounding your decisions. Where there was once constant second-guessing, there will now be quiet confidence. Where you once wrestled with doubt after every choice, now you will feel an internal yes or no rising like a tide within your chest. This peace is not accidental. It is a sign that your identity is shifting from striving to trusting. You no longer chase validation because you no longer doubt your worth. You no longer cling to outcomes because you no longer fear loss. You walk now as someone who understands they are chosen, not chosen for ease, but chosen for purpose. Chosen one. You are learning to walk with a grounded certainty. The need to prove yourself is dissolving. The pressure to perform is loosening. The urgency to justify your path is fading. You are no longer contorting yourself to fit expectations. You are expanding into your true form, and as this happens, your joy is returning quietly at first, then steadily, then radiantly. It will show up in moments that seem small, but feel profound. You will laugh more freely, the kind of laughter that rises not from circumstance, but from your soul. You will rest without guilt because you are no longer carrying the weight of invisible fears. You will awaken with anticipation instead of dread because your spirit now trusts what the future holds. These small shifts, chosen one, are the evidence of deep healing. Healing that went into the places of your spirit that once felt tense, guarded, or burdened. Healing that rewired old fears and softened old wounds. Healing that transformed survival into safety and striving into belonging. Do not confuse this peace with passivity. You are still called to move forward boldly. You are still called to stretch, build, and rise. But now, your boldness will not be fueled by frantic urgency. It will be anchored in calm assurance. It will come from knowing who you are and whose you are. It will come from stability, not scarcity. When challenges appear in this next season, and they will, you will respond with a kind of steadiness that surprises even you. The old triggers will no longer dictate your reactions. The old fears will no longer hijack your thoughts. The old wounds will no longer control your decisions. Instead of reacting from panic, you will respond from alignment. Instead of shrinking back, you will breathe and move forward. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you will feel centered. This stability is not weakness, it is mastery. It is evidence that your spirit has matured. Chosen one, pause here with me. We stand at the halfway point of this sacred transmission, and in this still moment I speak directly to your soul. Your presence here is not accidental. Your spirit was drawn to these words because you carry immense merit in the unseen realms. Your vibration has risen through every hardship you survived with grace. Your aura carries the strength of someone who has faced darkness and still chosen light. You are here because you are ready for the next unfolding. You are here because your spirit is aligned with higher truth. You are here because destiny recognizes you. If these words resonate in the deepest chambers of your being, anchor this moment. Seal it. Claim it. Comment 777 or I am ready to consciously align with the expansion already moving toward you. Now, breathe, chosen one, and let us continue. In the months ahead, you will feel the subtle yet powerful shift of becoming someone who is no longer moved by external chaos. Your inner world has become the sanctuary where your decisions are made. This sanctuary will become impenetrable to the noise of others. The opinions, expectations, and projections of the world will lose their power over you. You will no longer bend your spirit to avoid disappointing others. You will no longer dilute your authenticity to make others comfortable. You will no longer sacrifice your peace to maintain false harmony. Instead, you will prioritize alignment. Alignment with your purpose. Alignment with your calling. Alignment with the frequency of who you are becoming, are not. This alignment will guide your steps with a precision you have never known before. You will know when to step forward and when to step back. You will know when to speak and when silence is the most powerful message. You will know which connections nurture your spirit and which connections drain it. Your intuition will feel like a sacred instrument, playing the notes of truth directly into your heart. Chosen one. You will feel your spirit rising into its rightful place. The confidence you carry will be gentle yet unshakable. The authority you walk with will be quiet yet undeniable. The wisdom you speak will carry the weight of someone who has lived through storms and emerged with clarity. People will notice the difference. They will sense your stability. They will feel the depth in your presence. They will see the shift in your countenance, and they will wonder how you became so anchored, so peaceful, so radiant. But the truth is simple. You learn to trust. You learn to surrender. You learn to rest in divine alignment rather than force outcomes through human anxiety. This is your evolution. And this evolution will set you apart. Your spirit will move differently. Your mind will think differently. Your energy will resonate differently. Your presence will command respect without demanding it. Chosen one. What lies ahead is not merely a better season. It is a higher dimension of living. You are stepping into a chapter where your peace becomes your compass. Your clarity becomes your protection. Your healed heart becomes your guide. And your destiny, long prepared, begins to unfold with a momentum that can no longer be delayed. Walk forward now with steady steps and lifted eyes. For the world is about to see the full expression of who you were always meant to become.